Hello and welcome to Catamount Community Connection, our weekly public affairs program here at Catamount Radio. And we air the show across all 5 radio stations. And thank you for joining us each and every week. I'm your host, Brian Collamore. Today we have Lyle Jepson and Chrispin White from CEDRR joining us. We have a number of things to talk about. But of course, we always sort of preface the show by saying we're trying to make listeners aware of what's going on, not just in Rutland County, although that's our primary focus, but also statewide, in case there's anything that affects people listening that maybe a statewide statute or regulation. We like to keep people up to date on that. Our show brought to you by the Rutland County Agricultural Society, which has brought you the Vermont State Fair at Rutland since 1846, even before the Civil War. And we're already looking forward, even though the 179th fair in the rear view mirror is only 3 weeks ago. We're looking forward to the 180th Vermont State Fair coming up next August, 2026. Kind of scary to use the 2026 date. So we would like to welcome in frequent guests, and always a pleasure to have them both, Lyle Jepson and Chrispin White from CEDRR. Again, just for people's benefit, CEDRR is the Chamber and Economic Development of the Rutland region and has brought together 2 former entities and created, I'll tell you what, a powerful, powerful business and economic development tool for everybody in Rutland County. We had, just in case people didn't have a chance to listen last week, we had Devin Neary in, and we talked a lot about the airport. Lyle and I were at a meeting a couple of weeks ago now where we elected members of the airport committee, and it was a real fascinating, I thought, show about the asset that is the Rutland Airport. That a lot of people, most people that live here know there's an airport, but I'm not sure how many people actually use it and realize the benefit that it presents to the county. So I thought that was kind of cool, and we'll definitely have Devin back at some point. But today we are going to talk about chamber events, or CEDRR events, if you will, and the first one coming up next Saturday, the 13th. And that, of course, is the Whoopie Pie Festival. This is the 4th year, if I'm remembering correctly, that we've done that.
Correct.
That's Chrispin. Mm-hmm. And we set a record for the United States of America with the largest Whoopie Pie last year. So we're not going to try to break our own record. We'll let some other poor state try to do that down the road. Mm-hmm. But we're just going to invite people to come downtown this coming Saturday. And actually, I think there's a mixer that's happening first, so I don't know whether Lyle or Chrispin want to jump on that first.
Well, we do have a mixer first. It'll be on Tuesday, September 10th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., and that will be held at FW Web this month. And it's going to be a great opportunity for people to come and check out their showroom on Cold River Road, and it will be catered by Roots. And FW Web staff, they are planning to do some great interactive activities for the participants there, and our mixers are always a great time to just come, network, and really enjoy each other's company. So it's Tuesday, September 9th. Sorry about that. And a great opportunity to network, engage with, be people in the community, and really share information about what people are doing out there. So we definitely encourage people to come and participate in that mixer on the 9th.
And again, go ahead,
Lyle. Brian, is they have activities that will be taking place there, and I know some of those may be a surprise because we want people to come and find out what's happening at FW Web.
Yeah.
We had a recent one at Rutland Appliance, and it was pretty exciting. You know, you go to an appliance store and you don't think about a mixer in an appliance store, but it was exciting because they had a scavenger hunt, and you had to go all over the place to find different clues in order to get prizes, and they gave away wild prizes. I mean, they were really nice prizes. So the mixer events are exciting no matter where they are. So come over to FW Web on the Tuesday the 9th, 5 to 7. I know they're going to have some cool things happening.
Definitely.
And again, I try to get to as many of them as I can when we're in session, since it's the second Tuesday each month. I'm unable because I'm living up in Montpelier. And the last one I was unable to because the Vermont State Fair was going on, and I had to be down there for that. So, so FW Web this coming Tuesday, and it's 5 to 7, and everybody's invited, and get down there and enjoy yourself for sure. So let's refocus now onto the Whoopie Pie Festival, and Chrispin seems to have more details on that. I know when it is, I know what time it goes, but I'm sure there's little details that you can provide us.
Well, definitely. It'll be Saturday, September 13th. This year we'll have it from 12 until 4. And as you mentioned earlier, we don't have to worry about the world record for the Whoopie Pie this year, but we are looking forward to a lot of family-friendly activities for the event. Right now we have 18 Whoopie Pie vendors registered for the event. We are excited. Last year we had 17, and we're just really excited to see what varieties of whoopie pies they're going to have for that day. A lot of them tell us they're going to have gluten-free, vegan. We have one vendor who will have 12 different flavors to present that day. So it's going to be exciting to see what they bring to the table, but also to provide an opportunity for the attendees to come and really just enjoy as many whoopie pies as possible. We do have tickets available on sale right now, and the tickets are for the sampling of the whoopie pies, so it's $1 per sample. And if people would like to purchase those tickets online, they would go to rutlandwhoopiepiefest.com, and they can purchase them ahead of time so they don't have to stand in line the day of the event.
They put turf down on Center Street.
We do.
Streets
we have
blocked off.
The Green Street Challenge, where it'll be right in front of Wonder Feet Kids Museum. That's going to be sponsored by Come Alive Outside. They'll have wonderful events there. And then if you look at the entire event, we're going to have magicians. We're going to have stilt walkers, square dancers, face painters, caricature artists. We have the Real McCoy Show, who will be coming and joining us. They perform at Faneuil Hall in Boston. And just a lot of different, again, family-friendly activities to make people really have some fun and enjoy themselves in downtown Rutland.
Noon to 4 this coming Saturday, Whoopie Pie Festival number 4. And don't miss it. It's really, 5,000, 6,000 people?
We had over 7,000 people last year. Exactly. And looking to keep pace with that as well. And again, we want to make sure that there are so many different activities. And again, it's in conjunction with the farmers market as well. So downtown Rutland will be packed. And we're hoping it'll also benefit all of the shops and the restaurants down there as well. We're encouraging all the shops to bring their wares out, put them out on the sidewalks, and really show people what they have. This is a showcase for them also, so we want to make sure they benefit from it.
Kind of I'm struggling with the term here, but reprising the sidewalk sales.
Sale, exactly, exactly. And with thousands and thousands of people, coming to downtown, this gives them an opportunity to increase their awareness, showcase what they have to offer. People can utilize and go through their doors that day, or they'll come back hopefully in the future once they realize that they are there and available.
And you'll be able to have dessert first if you're going to one of the area restaurants, because you've already had the pie. Kind of cool.
That's it.
Well, there's also going to be some specialty drink opportunities.
Yes.
What are those going to be, Chris?
Well, we have a lot of vendors coming this year with lemonade. We have 2 vendors coming with milk because milk and whoopie pies go together.
Oh, yeah.
We have some energy drink companies coming down. So, and a company that's going to have mocktails available as well. This is a family-friendly event, so we don't encourage alcohol use, but mocktails will be available as well. So definitely some opportunities for people to come down. There'll be a lot of food trucks available as well. And again, just an opportunity to showcase what we offer in downtown.
So as people hear this show on the 7th, are you still looking for volunteers to do any stuff?
Yes, still looking for volunteers. We do have a volunteer link online at rutlandwhoopiepiefest.com, and we are still looking for about 20, 25 or so volunteers to help out with the day. And each volunteer spot is only an hour to 2 hours, so we're not asking people to volunteer for the entire day, but we are still in need of a few people to help us out.
And what exactly would they be doing?
It depends on the time they join us, but it could be helping us set up at the beginning, break down at the end. During the event itself, it could be helping support some of the activities we have. This year, we're going to have whoopie pie eating contest, one for a kids event for ages 6 to 11, and then we have a team event as well. So it could be helping with that. It could be helping with the whoopie pie judging. And then we also have, before the event begins, we have this year for the first time the Whoopie Mile, where participants can run a half mile, eat a whoopie pie, and then and then finish the race in style.
That sounds like so much fun.
Definitely. It definitely is.
So there you go, folks. It's coming Saturday, downtown Rutland, noon to 4, the 4th annual Whoopie Pie Festival.
Yeah, there are a couple of people we'd like to thank. Is that okay?
Sure, yeah.
So people are saying, well, where did Dreammaker Bakers go? And well, we want to thank Megan Wagner, who has really been the person that got us that largest whoopie pie. 1,100 and how many pounds?
67.
67 pounds last year. No one's going after that record right now. Dreammaker Bakers is temporarily on hiatus. Megan wanted to spend a little more time with her family. Had nothing to do with the success of Dreammaker Bakers, which was knocking it out of the park in Killington. But I think it was a 24/7 job, so Megan's stepping back temporarily. I bet we're going to see her again in the future. In fact, we're going to see her at the Whoopie Pie judging contest. She's going to be one of the judges, so we're pretty excited about that. And who are the other judges? Just so the people can start going out and saying, hey, mine's the best.
Yeah. The other judges will be Gordon Druscillo from the Rutland Herald, Molly Kelly from King Arthur Baker. She's going to be there. Steve Costello, who without him, this event would not have been possible. And Connor Monroe, who is our teenage judge for every year.
Okay.
And Steve is the second person I wanted to thank, over and above with Megan Wagner. But Steve really was the father of this whole thing. About 5 years ago, I think he went to a whoopie pie event, might have been in Maine. And
those pretenders.
He saw how exciting it was. And he said, we can do this. And in fact, I think it was his mother or grandmother that had a very special recipe for whoopie pies, which really turned him on to whoopie pies. So he is a guy that loves whoopie pies. I'm not sure his wife Jane enjoys them quite as much as he does. But he turned us on to the Whoopie Pie Fest, and it continues now in its 4th year.
Very well-known name throughout the area, Steve Costello, with Power Company A and B. He's just a great community leader.
And another, if you would like to be part of the whoopie pie eating contest, you can go online, can you not?
Yes, you can.
Sign up for that?
Correct. Yep.
All right. And you will receive a commemorative bucket by being part of the whoopie pie eating contest. The bucket can be used for many types of things, including whatever you might be eating lots of. But we wanted to make sure people walked away with a commemorative bucket if they are participating in the whoopie pie eating contest.
We're talking to Lyle Jepson and Chrispin White from CEDRR, the Chamber and Economic Development of the Rutland region. If you had anybody else to thank, we can certainly keep that list going or move on to the next topic. But again, I'll just remind people, this is an event worth attending, especially if you have kids. And the younger, the younger the better. I don't know what a 4-week-old baby would be up for it, but certainly toddlers and up. And there'll be a lot of, face painting, and as Crispin mentioned, all the other events that are going on. So noon to 4 this coming Saturday in downtown Rutland.
Well, we certainly do have others to thank, including our signature sponsor, Casella Waste Systems. Could not do it without their support. They have been a yearly supporter of this from the very beginning. And Crispin, maybe there's some others that we need to shout out to, like Rutland Regional Medical Center, the City of Rutland. I'm going to start missing all the important players.
No, actually, Catamount Radio is a major sponsor as well. Also, Front Porch Forum. So we have quite a few sponsors that really help us. And again, as CEDRR, we put this event on, but it's really a community event, and we lean on a lot of our sponsors and community organizations to really make this happen. And one addition we have this year, we did it last year as well, is we're going to have close to 30 nonprofit organizations presenting as well at this event, share information about how they impact the community and to just really be a part of this large community event.
Great. Okay.
And one exciting new table, and I don't know if she wants me to mention it, but I'm going to now because it's too late. But Judy Delfa is out there, and she will have a table that is advertising the fact that they're working to bring the fireworks back.
Oh.
And with the 250th year celebration of our nation, now's the time. And so Judy and I have been talking, and CEDRR and other organizations, the city in particular, to talk a little bit about how could we bring back the fireworks and how can we make that a yearly event again. With 250 years of our nation's, since our nation's birth coming up, now's a good time to re-energize that and bring back some excitement in the skies over Rutland City.
And that's normally a 4th of July event or another date?
It would normally be a 4th of July event, and I think that the 4th of July is actually a Saturday this coming 2026. So my bet is all the fireworks companies are getting booked up pretty quick at this point for that date.
Yeah, and we do have one up in Montpelier or somewhere up in Washington County, I think. I'm forgetting the name. But anyway, that's great to hear. So, yeah, we're looking forward to this coming Saturday for that. This coming Tuesday, the Mixer at FW Webb. And then a little bit later down the road is the CEDRR annual meeting. And that is something that we want to also mention. It is down the road a little bit. I think it's February.
It'll be October 28th.
Or October, I'm sorry.
October 28th.
Not that far down the road.
We're going to be up at the K1 Base Lodge at Killington Resort. We're really looking forward to that. It'll be a 5 to 7 event. There'll be great food, adult beverages, and other beverages as well. Again, I think it's a Tuesday, Chrispin? Is that
yes, it is.
Tuesday,
Correct.
October 28th?
Yes.
We will have the band Extra Stout there who will be playing to warm everyone up while people are enjoying the great food. Part of that event is also a pitch competition for our Startup Rutland Generator program. So we'll have 5 different businesses pitching their events, and we can talk in a little while about what some of those businesses have to offer.
And you've had that meeting at different locations throughout the years too, right?
At the annual meeting? Yeah. So last year was at the Paramount.
That's right.
In years past, interestingly enough, during COVID, we did the annual meeting at the drive-in as a drive-in opportunity. We were both at the fairgrounds at their drive-in set up down there, as well as up in Brandon. So we had 2 different simulcasts going on of our annual meeting. So it has been in different locations, including the Hub Coworks. So we were at the Hub Coworks one year.
I do remember the Paramount. I'm pretty sure I was there last year. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to. And again, we're talking to Lyle Jepson and Chrispin White from CEDRR. Let's take our first break here on Catamount Community Connection, and we'll be right back with our guests in just a minute. Welcome back to Catamount Community Connection. I'm Brian Collamore, your weekly host of the program. And today we have Lyle Jepson and Chrispin White from CEDRR, the Chamber and Economic Development of the Rutland region. And we talked a lot about some of the events in the near future. The Mixer coming up at FW Webb this coming Tuesday. The Whoopie Pie Festival this coming Saturday downtown. The annual meeting in October. There's also a Startup Rutland connection, I think, with the annual meeting, right?
There is, and I'm going to go rewind the tape just a little bit to remind folks that all these events that we're talking about are free of charge. So if you want to come to a Mixer at FW Webb on Tuesday the 9th, it's free of charge. You do not need to be a member of the Chamber and Economic Development. We want everybody to come and enjoy a brief evening of gathering together and talking with friends. Same thing with the Whoopie Pie Festival. You know, you can come to the Whoopie Pie Festival if you want to. If you would like to purchase the samples, you need to buy tickets for samples of Whoopie Pies. But anybody can come downtown and enjoy the bouncy houses, the activities that are going on, the caricature artists. Just come on down because it's all free of charge unless you want to order or get the samples for the Whoopie Pies. Also, the annual meeting for CEDRR, which will happen on Tuesday, October 28th at the K1 Base Lodge at Killington Resort. Free event. Show up. There'll be great food. We have Extra Stout, which will be the band that's playing. Great, I guess it's Irish or
traditional
Celtic
Irish
music.
Exactly. Yes.
And I need to look up my history a little bit more here, but it'll be a really nice evening. And part of that evening is what you mentioned, Brian, which is the Startup Rutland Pitch Competition. In collaboration with Generator, which is the third largest business incubator in the nation, we have a contract with them to help us provide our Startup Rutland program. And we have just recently completed about 30 different interviews with companies both in Vermont and around the nation that would like to be part of our G-Beta cohort, which is coming up and has just started last Friday, September 5th. And that cohort is going through a business incubator program with Mose Casaro, our director of the program, and that'll take place over the next 6 weeks, culminating with our annual meeting at the Killington K1 Base Lodge on October 28th. At that time, there will be 5 different businesses that will be pitching their idea in hopes that, quite frankly, that they'll get funding either from audience members or people that will be made aware of what they're doing. And these are businesses that are ready for investment. They're ready for mentorship. These are not ideas that just started on September 5th. Some of these folks have been working on these ideas for a very long time, including a gentleman who was in the military for 20 years, and he now has a platform for leadership development that you can purchase access to his computer-based leadership development program. And it's pretty robust, and it does not need to be just for people who might be in the military. It could be for any organization that is looking for leadership training. So that may be one of the, and I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, it may or may not be one of the pitches at the K1, but we have other ideas that range all the way from devices that will help you in your home to devices that will help you find your pets and be able to take care of your pets. And so there's a lot of very cool tech-enabled businesses that want to really be invested in here in Vermont. And that's our goal with Startup Rutland. We want businesses to be growing here in Vermont, specifically in Rutland County. And that's what the Hub Co-works is all about. It's that location where Startup Rutland, in partnership with Generator, can be doing this work and creating businesses that are high skill, high demand, and high wage. And we want those high wage businesses here because that helps our restaurants. That helps all of our businesses, both small and large. And it brings in very talented people who are going to purchase homes that will be built over time. And so we hope that the Startup Rutland program through the Hub Co-works can be a real economic development partnership with our communities.
So there'll be 5 businesses that will be pitching their business to the audience. There's some audience interaction, if I'm remembering correctly. How does that work?
There will be audience interaction. Bring your cell phones, people, because we will ask you to go. I think it's either Kahoot or something else. Again, it's another application that you can get on your phone. Very easy to do. And we will ask you to be voting on the People's Choice Award for the business that you think will be most successful or most exciting for you in your life.
And I remember doing that last year when it was at the Paramount. And boy, there were some real interesting, very well done pitches.
We just interviewed a company from the island of Malta, and if they are chosen to come to this, they'll be on a plane, or we're at this point already on a plane, to come to the U.S. to be part of this project. But most all of the businesses are what we describe as tech-enabled, that it is computer-based, application-based, that is scalable. It's kind of like you think, and people say, well, what the heck is scalable? Well, think about Facebook. That has scaled up because it's something that everyone can access. And so now there are millions and millions and millions of people on Facebook that started with probably 10 people just checking this thing out. Some of these businesses are similar to that, and we're going to be hearing about them in the future.
Yeah, it's an amazing phenomenon. I liken it sometimes to YouTube or the one that probably the most popular platform for meetings. Well, depending on where you are. The state has one of their own, Teams, I think they call it, and the administration uses that. but then the rest of us use Zoom. And if you had been in the room when they first started talking about Zoom and you put your money up and bought some stock in that, you could literally probably buy an island right now and retire.
So true.
It's amazing how things go.
Yeah.
That's what scalable is, folks. It's being at the beginning and watching it literally expand exponentially in some cases. So that's that'll be something to look forward to. The other part, you're going to be up to K1 Base Lodge, right at the probably close to peak foliage time. And I mean, what better event could you possibly have? And this is all a renewed or a renovated K1 Base Lodge too. For those that haven't been there before, it's brand
new facility. Yeah, it's probably is it in its third year at this point?
Something like that.
It's beautiful with the windows. You can look at the skiers coming down. There may not be any at that point, but it's a beautiful venue. They really did it right when they built that.
Okay, so those are some of the events coming up. Now the one that I mistakenly said February, I think, the Rutland Real Feud. And
no, that one is February.
It is February.
Yes.
Okay, so take that away and see what do we got.
The Real Rutland Feud. The next year will be Saturday, February 21st at the Paramount Theater, and it's a great opportunity to bring 10 local businesses together to play the Family Feud game on the stage there. And it's an opportunity for businesses who are interested to be able to showcase what they do and to kind of be a little goofy on stage as well. And it gives the opportunity for the audience to really see these businesses and organizations in a different light. One of the highlights a few years ago, we had the Rutland PD against the Rutland Fire Department. And again, to have those gentlemen and ladies up there dancing around and really hooting and hollering, just a great opportunity for the community to see them, see what they're about, and see them as real people. So we like to have businesses up there as well because they can really increase the awareness of what they do, who they are, and we encourage them to bring all of their fans, all of their customers there and fill the seats at the Paramount. And Eric Millett, the director of the Paramount, always says that this is one of the best community events that he has to offer at the Paramount Theater because it does bring the community together.
Yeah.
And the event actually raises money for our regional marketing initiative, Real Rutland. And I'll let Lyle talk about that a little bit to give some information on how that works.
Well, Real Rutland is our program to bring more people here. And as we've talked about before on this very show, that we have an opportunity to grow our population through the program, which we really need to do. As we are competing to be the oldest county in the state of Vermont, and we need to bring folks in that will be able to replace people like me, and we need younger folks to do that. So Olivia Buxbaum is in charge of our regional marketing initiative. She is our communications and marketing manager. And she and our marketing committee work very diligently to come up with a strategy and have come up with a strategy to attract people to move here. And it's working. And we are getting folks, as again we've talked about before, who are climate refugees, who are living in different places in the U.S. that is uncomfortable. And if you're in Texas or other places, which I'm sure there are beautiful places there, but there are locations that are above 100 degrees 90 days in a row, and people want to come to a place where they consider it to be climate safe. Certainly our climate is changing here a little bit as climate change does take effect. However, we are in a safer position than other places in the U.S. So Olivia has targeted areas around the nation where she knows people are looking to move to someplace else. They're bringing their remote jobs, or they're bringing their skills as a nurse or a doctor or an architect, and those are the folks that we're attracting. We have a benefit similar to people say, well, Colorado has mountains that are bigger than ours. Well, Colorado also has certain problems that are bigger than ours, and we have ski resorts that really are second to none. As far as the ability to have fun and to access them. So our regional marketing initiative is funded by many of the businesses that continue to fund many things like the Whoopie Pie Festival. We're honored to have Casella Waste and Rutland Regional Medical Center and others, Cape Air and many others, supporting the Regional Marketing Initiative effort to bring people here. One thing economically, as we think about people, frequently I look at my tax bill and I think, boy, that tax bill is really high for my property taxes. If we had more people here, we can cut that pie into thinner slices. And so that is one of our goals, is to help make Vermont the affordable and climate-safe place to be. And we can do all that.
You know, I know from personal experience, the Southeast, I'll just use that as sort of the general, I'm talking Florida and the Carolinas and Mississippi and Louisiana and Texas. It used to be fairly unusual to see temperatures there, even in June, July, and August, in the high 90s to near 100. I mean, you might get 5 or 6 days all year, and you had plenty of warning, and people would get plenty of water. And, of course, the air conditioning down there is absolutely necessary. This last couple of years, it's no longer that unusual to see those temperatures hover near 100. So I think you're right. There seem to be a lot of potential visitors and then maybe residents who would say, geez, you know, I mean, Florida used to be the place where a lot of folks from the Northeast would go to retire because the weather was so nice. I'm not sure that that's still true, with all due respect to the Floridians that are still around and do that. But all I'm saying is it's getting hotter. Even here this summer, obviously, we had temperatures where we don't normally see those day after day after day after day. So, yeah, for whatever reason, climate change is a fact. And, you know, there's probably more than one reason. There's probably a bunch of reasons for it. But it whatever challenges, there's also opportunities, and it's a great opportunity for, I think, Vermont to find some new residents.
And the other piece is wildfires in the West, and we know those are happening because it's affecting us. When the sun is orange during the day, you know that there's clouds coming or smoke coming from someplace. So again, we are targeting those areas around the nation where people might like to look for something different.
Yeah.
And we do have jobs here. And so if you look at Rutland Regional Medical Center's website, they have 100 jobs open, all the way from, you know, working as a doctor to working in all the different departments. So there are opportunities here.
I want to compliment CEDRR, too. We've talked a lot about sort of the fun events that are coming up, the mixers and the whoopie pie and even the Rutland Feud. But we did have State Treasurer Mike Pichak come down about 3 weeks ago now, maybe even a month ago. I don't remember what the date was, but this is going to air on the 7th of September, so subtract 3 weeks or a month. And I thought he was very well-versed. He certainly knows his stuff, and a couple of businesses brought up some concerns to him, and I think knowing the way CEDRR operates, those concerns are shared, and we try to find solutions for some of the problems that come up. One of them is the Act 250 requirement, although we do have now with Act 181 that Tier 1 designation for the downtowns around, and they are exempt from many of the Act 250 regulations that were in place before that. And then there's this 3-acre rule, which I believe, and I'm going to start doing a lot more research on this, that was not created by statute. What happened, the Clean Water Act, which was a federal bill, was passed by the U.S. Congress, and then each state sort of had their own ability to address clean water in whatever fashion they chose. And Vermont, through a rule-making procedure, not through a statute, decided the Agency of Natural Resources was in charge of coming up with a rule. And they're the ones that came up with this 3-acre rule. If you own 3 acres of what are called impervious soils, you have to mitigate that. You have to do an engineering study, which is very costly. Then you have to figure a way, this is for stormwater now, not wastewater, but stormwater. You have to figure a way to capture that so it does get taken in and not wind up in Lake Champlain. So that was one of the things that I thought one of our local automotive dealers brought up to to the group that was there that day. Very well attended, by the way. A lot of good business types and nonprofits were there. And I don't know what we can do. I know that there are about 700 properties on the western side of the state that feed into Lake Champlain that are affected by this. And not everybody has even had the light come on yet. And those that have begun to spend lots of money trying to figure out how to come into compliance. So, again, I want to thank the folks at CEDRR for having Mike Pichak come down, and I thought some of the concerns that were voiced that day were very legitimate.
Well, and to stick on that 3-acre rule topic, the state has available a grant to help support the engineering costs up to just close to $50,000 per location. However, that does not pay for the mitigation, and that can be very, very costly. And I think the issue has become that people might not have purchased the property that they purchased years ago had they known that this was going to be a future issue, because it could put them out of business down the road. So the idea of some form, and we've talked about it before, Brian, some grandfathering as this moves forward needs to be considered, in my opinion, because if you're now going to begin to look at a property, at least you'll know what's going to happen in the future. The folks that purchased that property before were unaware that this was going to be an issue. And now there are some that are hundreds of thousands of dollars into a mitigation plan, that a remediation plan, which is almost something they can't support through their business. We need to be business friendly, and we can't have these aha moments. And I absolutely understand why the Agency of Natural Resources is doing what they're doing. This is a very speedy fix to a very long-term problem. And so we need to ease our way into this more. And yes, nobody wants the algae blooms in Lake Champlain or the algae blooms in Lake Memphremagog. We all want clean water, and we're all going to pull in that direction. But we need to make sure we can afford to do that, and that we're not turning businesses away that are putting money into the coffers that are going to help support the remediation plans in the future. We need a plan that has some money in it to help with remediation if it's required. So that's my 2 cents on that.
No, and I appreciate that. I really do. One of the best examples, I think, of a case where someone was not going to be, or was not aware of what was going to be happening, right over the line into Rutland Town is a national company, kind of a hardware. They sell a lot of tools. I won't mention their brand, but they decided to open a store right over the line in Rutland Town. And at the last moment, I'm talking like the closing, all of a sudden realized it was going to cost 6 figures, and I'm thinking it was somewhere around $300,000 to come into compliance with this 3-acre rule. Luckily, the parking lot was large enough that they were able to take part of it and make a pond so that the stormwater runoff would be able to sit in this pond until it eventually, got taken up by the earth or evaporated in some way. And so, but it almost killed the whole deal. At some point, they were ready to just walk and say, we're going to have to go somewhere else with this, because it's obvious that we had no idea about this beforehand. So,
that's the 3-acre rule piece, and that's separate, although it's all one and the same, but it is separate to the Act 250 conversation. And Act 250 now has been in existence for more than 50 years. Again, we all agree that we want Vermont to be beautiful, we want fresh air, we want fresh water, and we want smart growth. But we need to look at, are we turning businesses away at the same time? And can we get to yes in a way that will do both of those things? And my opinion right now about Act 250, and this is our economic development side of the Chamber and Economic Development. Yes, we have whoopie pie festivals and events and activities, but we also have our economic development side that all those events and activities are supporting, or else why would people want to live here? So we have our economic development side, and as far as Act 250 goes, it's not going to go away. But there are things that we can do if it's going to stay the way it is. And one of those things, in my opinion, is that we need to staff up the Agency of Natural Resources local districts so that permitting can get through more quickly. They will point out that permits, 97 or 98% of all permits get approved, but it's not happening fast enough. And when you talk to a local auto dealer here, he may say, I've been waiting for this for 2 years. I've been going through this process for 2 years. He could open up a business in New Hampshire or New York much more quickly. We're lucky that he's being patient, and so hopefully he'll continue to be patient. But we need to staff up so that we don't have to use every day that the Agency of Natural Resources has to respond. That should be the outlier. If they have 30 days or 60 days or 90 days to respond to a business, in my opinion, that's the outlier. We need to really ramp it up and say, within 10 days, you need to respond to this. If that means staff, okay, we may need to pay for staff. But the fact that we don't lose businesses, or the fact that we're seen as business friendly, will bring in more businesses that will provide more taxes for the coffers of the state of Vermont, which will pay for those people. We need to grow and not retract.
We're talking to Lyle Jepson and Chrispin White from CEDRR, and I don't think I've ever met a developer in whatever fashion, whether it's housing or commercial or retail business, that is not supportive of a process that the permitting necessitates. But it needs to be, in my opinion, predictable, affordable, and timely. And if you can marry those three things together, in other words, if they know ahead of time, this is what you got to go through, it's going to cost this amount of money, and it will be done by X date, most of them, I think, are fine and are willing to be part of that process. So we'll have to see how we manage this down the road. But yeah, I think you're right. If I had a magic wand and I could sort of grandfather all of those properties that are already in this situation, if somebody is coming in with a brand new thing, but it's obvious that this is what they're going to have to go through, that's one thing. But if you're, captured by something that, in essence, was not part of the deal when you made the deal, boy, that really that hurts.
You nailed the three words, predictability being one of them. Businesses need to know when the money's going to come back the other way. If they can predict that, they can extrapolate that out,
yep,
and they'll know if they can go into business or not. The affordability piece we need to work on as well, and the timely nature of getting permitting done. It's not going to go away, but we need more staff to make it happen.
All right, our second break is looming, and we will take a break here on Catamount Community Connection, and we'll be back with Lyle Jepson and Chrispin White in just a moment. Welcome back to Catamount Community Connection, our show brought to you by the Rutland County Agricultural Society, which has brought you the Vermont State Fair at Rutland since 1846. We are looking forward, believe it or not, to the 180th Vermont State Fair next August 2026. It will coincide, being the 180, with the 250th birthday of the United States of America. So it wasn't too long after the United States became a country that there was a fair. And I always liked that. I like the fact that it's been around that long, and had a great fair this year. Those of you that were with us probably a month ago now, maybe 3 weeks, we talked to Robert Congdon, who's the head guy at the fair and also the whole fair association throughout the state. They had about 200 more people attend this year's fair than last year. So all in all, and again, we talked about temperatures when we talked about the ability of people to cool off in what has now become, like a hot summer here. So 2 or 3 of the days down there were in the mid-90s, and I'm sure that sort of dragged a lot of people from not attending. But anyway, it was well attended. The Country Act, Oliver Anthony, was just lights out, completely sold out, and it was great. So I love seeing stuff like that happen in the area. We're going to remind you about some of the events coming up. One of them is the Whoopie Pie Festival, which is this coming Saturday in downtown Rutland from noon to 4. And Chrispin did go over some of the things that will be there that day. Lots of family activities, some music, a bouncy house, food trucks. You can do the mile race half of it and then eat a pie and then try to finish it. But there's also some nonprofits that will be there too, right?
Exactly. And we like to support our community nonprofits and provide them an opportunity to share information to the community. And what better way to do that than to have them table at this event where, again, over 7,000 people will be attending. So some of the nonprofits we're going to have joining us will be Habitat for Humanity, News Story, who always loves to join us, Rutland Pride Center, Alzheimer's Association, who will have a walk here in Rutland. 2 Saturdays be September 27th. So they will be there joining us in tabling. The Mentor Connector will be there. Turning Point. Tour de Slate, which is an organization that offers a bike race that supports people with substance abuse. So they will be there as well. So just a nice variety of nonprofit organizations that will be joining us and really sharing information that can benefit our community residents.
And what are the mini makers? There's something going on the green.
So the Wonder Feet Kids Museum this year is offering a mini maker market. They sent out information to families and recruited some of their kids to create items that they will be selling at the Whoopie Pie Festival. So they'll be setting up right in front of Wonder Feet Kids Museum from 12 to 2. Wonder Feet has given them an opportunity to make their products in their museum over the last few weeks, and they will be selling them with pride during the Whoopie Pie Festival. So just a great opportunity to get kids involved. They're creative. They'll be making their own products and just really showcasing what they're doing to the community.
So again, this coming week, we have a mixer at FW Web this coming Tuesday from 5 to 7. And you can go to that absolutely free of charge. You can win prizes. So you can actually come out richer than you went in. And it's an opportunity to just kind of relax with other business types and community folks and get caught up on what they're doing and what's going on in the community. Their mixers are great. The Cedar Mixers every second Tuesday of a month. And this week or this month, it's this coming Tuesday. And then the Whoopie Pie Festival on Saturday, noon to 4 in downtown Rutland. Those are the 2 events that are coming up this week. Lyle and I think Chrispin will be back with us next week, by the way, to talk about the TIF district. We've spent a lot of time on this show talking about that. It's in advance of the vote on October 7th. That will be only city residents can vote. So if you live in the town or Wallingford or Clarendon or West Rutland or wherever, you can't vote on the TIF district. But we're hoping to have a very good turnout. If we could get upwards of 75-80% turnout, that would be fantastic. And we have encouraged people to at least consider voting yes on that and gone through all the reasons why we think it's a great idea. But we're going to get into much more detail about that next week on this show with the folks from Cedar. So what else do we want to talk about? We have about 5 minutes left here.
What types of events might people see walking down the street during the Whoopie Pie Festival?
Oh, yeah.
What they would like to do is if they're interested, again, in running in the Whoopie Mile, that will begin at 11 a.m. in the Brock parking lot. And they can register for that online. But some of the other things, the Green Street Challenge in front of Wonder Feet Kids Museum, that will be going on from 12 until 4. The Real McCoy Show, they will have 2 shows available, one at 12:30 and one at 2:30, and that will be at the junction of Center Street and Merchants Row. We will have Tom Joyce, our resident magician, offering shows at 1:30 and 3:15. The Whoopie Pie Eating Contest, again, the first one will be for participants ages 6 to 11 at 1:30. And then the team competition, which will be teams up to 3 individuals, and it'll be a relay-type eating contest, will begin soon after the first one.
How many do they have to eat?
For the team, they have to eat 10 Whoopie Pies. So whoever eats 10 Whoopie Pies in the fastest time will win.
And they'll receive a commemorative bucket.
Yes, they will. Keep doing that.
Kind of like the hot dog eating contest.
Exactly. Yeah. And some other things we have, we'll have Star Wars characters and Ghostbusters characters throughout the whole event. We will have the Cast Off 8 square dancing from 2 until 3:30 in front of the Paramount Theater. And then at 3:30, we will have the Rutland Area Robotics. They'll be doing a demonstration right in front of our main stage near Merchants Row. So a lot of different events going on, and again, a lot more throughout the course of the afternoon. So the event is from 12 to 4, and guaranteed there will be something there for everyone.
And the square dancing, I hadn't done square dancing since probably 7th grade, quite frankly. And so that was a couple of years ago. And they pulled me into it this last year, and that was fun.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. And also the whoopie pie judging contest, where is that going to take place?
That's going to take place this year in the Street Side Conference Room in the Hub Co-works right in our location for Cedar. And that will be at 1:30 as well. Our judges will be there. Viewers can view the judging through the windows of the conference room, and they are all excited. They're all training very, very hard and taking their role as judges very seriously. So again, it'll be a wonderful event, and that's something that I think people would want to really see. These judges have to now sample 18 samples of whoopie pies. So you kind of have to prepare yourself for that.
Yeah. I'm not sure how you do that, but I hear you. The other thing that Crispin White is involved with Cedar is membership, and we try to give him a couple of minutes every time we do a show to talk about the current membership number and ways, in case you are a brand new business that has just come into the area and don't know anything about Cedar, but you can reach out. And I love the fact that it isn't like, here's what we can do here. No. It's always the other way, that you find out what it is they need first.
Exactly. It's about building relationships. And right now we have over 300 members within the Cedar organization. And as an organization, what we do is have conversations with new businesses or current businesses to find out what their needs are and to see what we can do as an organization to support those needs. And that is by having those conversations and sitting down and really finding out what their needs are, what their impact is in the community, and how we can either help them or we can connect them with others who can help them be successful, become more viable, just really have a presence within Rutland County, the state, and beyond. And so it's really about increasing the awareness of their business or organization. And again, previously with the Chamber, they focused a lot on for-profits, but we want to focus on for-profits and nonprofits because, they need that help and support and that awareness as well. So anyone who's interested, especially if you're a new business and you want to find out a little bit more about becoming a Cedar member, can reach out to me. My information is online under our website, and we can just schedule a time to sit down and chit-chat and see what we can do to help you out.
And if you catch what I imagine will be sort of that excitement of knowing about Cedar, there are committees that you could kind of sign up for too, right?
Correct. We have committees for a lot of what we do in the community. Events committee, obviously. We have a finance committee. We have a marketing committee that's very, very active. Policy committees, and more. So we encourage businesses and individuals, if you're interested in learning more about how to support this region, come talk to us and we'll sit down, explain all the committee structures, and give you an opportunity to pick which one might be of interest to you.
Okay. So 2 minutes left, guys. Anything I'm sure there's stuff we haven't got to, but we'll have other opportunities, I'm sure, but anything else?
Sure. One other thing is a brief commercial advertisement here. One of the things that Cedar also has, we have a loan fund, and we actually consider ourselves kind of the loan of last resort, in that we ask people to go to their lender first, businesses to go to their lender. And oftentimes a lender will say, we can do the first $100,000, but go find $30,000 more. So we have a loan fund, We are second in after banks to support or financial institutions to support businesses, but we can loan between $5,000 and $250,000. So we would encourage folks to talk to us about our loan fund, and we currently have, I think, 8 or 10 loans out there right now to area businesses, and that is part of the work that we do.
Okay. We've been talking to Lyle Jepson and Chrispin White from CEDRR, the Chamber and Economic Development of the Rutland region. Always a pleasure to have you guys on. Don't forget, FW Web this coming Tuesday for the Mixer, 5 to 7. And then the big show on Saturday is the Whoopie Pie Festival in downtown Rutland. That will go from noon to 4. Still looking for volunteers. You can go online and find out what it is you might be able to do. If you're going to go anyway, why not spend an hour and help out and make this the kind of the premier event it's turned into? Because I didn't realize we had 7,000 people that showed up last year, so that is pretty amazing.
You might ask, how did we know that? Well, we had 2 Wi-Fi points at 2 different locations, one on Merchants Row and one on Center Street. And as people walked by, if they had a smartphone, we knew that somebody walked by, and it just counted them. Now, that didn't count everyone, but it as we looked at the research, we counted like 3,500 or 4,000 people that walked by. And the research says if you have that many, then you actually had this many. Right. And so the research says we had 7,500 people. That's a lot of people.
Sure is. It sure is. Well, I'm sure things will go well this week at both events. And then again, next week, we'll have CEDRR folks back. I think the Downtown Rutland Partnership gentleman will be with us as well, whose name again is escaping me.
Al will be with us.
Yeah. And we'll talk about the TIF. So we will see all of you next week here on Catamount Community Connection.